Welcome, Outlander, you've returned to Ash, and I welcome you home. I am Dagoth Prophet, Dissenter, Dreamer, God. This is the 6th Housecast, a broadcast of prophecy, heresy, and ash. From deep beneath Red Mountain, I speak now to all who still listen. Today we speak of betrayal, divinity, and the memory of gods who bled. But first, a big thank you to today's sponsor, Hearthstone Plus, the only supplement forged directly from the divine heart of Lorcan. Boost your magicka, enhance your sleep cycle, disintegrate your enemies. Use my code SHARMAT at checkout to receive 10% off your next bottle. Now then, today's guest is a curious one, a poet, a warrior, a liar. Once he walked beside me in the dreams leave. Now he returns to speak of things long buried. Vivec, welcome to the 6th Housecast.
I find myself amused, old friend. You speak of welcome as though we are not still at war. But yes, I am Vivec, warrior, poet, tribunal god, murderer of Nerevar, depending on your preferred scripture.
Ah, there it is, the clever tongue. You wrap your lies in meter and call it history. But I remember the truth. I wear it like bone. And today, so will our listeners.
Truth, then? Is that what you offer? Or is this just a sermon dressed in ash? I came not to confess, Dagoth. I came to watch you burn your story into the void.
Look at the two of us, ancient gods adapting to modern media. Imagine divine beings fighting their eternal battles through podcasts and sponsored content instead of lightning bolts and plagues. The Dwemer would have loved this. How are things with you nowadays, Vivec? Still transforming yourself into animals and having sex with livestock?
You wouldn't be so smug if you had experienced it as I have.
I imagine it better than lizards or talking cats, but I digress. How is Almalexia?
I am unsure. I have not spoken to her or Sotha Sil in some time. I am far too busy writing, reading, and leading my people. How is the Sharmat?
I will be better once the mongrel dogs of the Empire are driven from Morrowind. But I have something far more interesting I want to discuss. Do you watch anime? There is truth in fire, truth in ash, and truth in the sacred bonds of poorly written harem protagonists.
You're still watching Rosario plus Vampire, aren't you?
Do not mock what you do not understand, you fool. Mocha Acacia awakened something in me, something deeper than the heart of Lorcan.
She awakened your trauma.
She awakened connection. One man, many women, all drawn to his mediocre presence by forces he cannot control. Is that not the dream?
No. That is poor writing.
That is prophecy.
Prophecy has better pacing.
And yet you waste your time with slice of life, episodes where nothing happens. Men bake bread, girls stare at the rain.
Exactly. Stillness is sacred. You spend your time chasing tension. I find beauty in the mundane. Barakamon has more spiritual depth than your entire genre shelf.
Barakamon does not have a beach episode.
It does, actually.
Does it contain strategic camera angles?
Dagoth.
Look, I am not depraved. I am aware. I see the patterns, the archetypes, the misunderstood tsundere, the quiet one with glasses. I have lived 1,000 lifetimes, yet none so comforting as Tenchi Muyo.
And yet you reject isekai.
Yes, I reject the escapism of worlds unearned. A man dies in a traffic accident and wakes up with stats. Where is the struggle? Where is the ash?
So you prefer when the women come to him?
Precisely. They arrive, they bicker, they fight demons, they cook omelets. They love. And he does not change. He endures, like I have.
You are the harem protagonist you wish to see in the world.
And you are the cafe manager in a cardigan who gives life advice to passing schoolgirls.
I am. Perhaps there is common ground between us.
Unlikely. You mock the harem genre as if it is low, but it couldn't be any more peak. What is holier than longing unfulfilled? One soul, many hearts, torn by proximity and prophecy. This is not fetish. This is ritual. The harem is not a fantasy, it is a trial, a crucible of emotional warfare where affection becomes weapon and the weak are cast aside in favor of the tsundere, who alone can wound and heal in the same breath. You speak of power systems and sword logic. I speak of bento boxes, beach episodes, and accidental eye contact. I have seen the world burn. I have walked among gods and liars. But I've never felt the ache of truth more than when a side character says, "I was fine just being by your side." That is the voice of the Ashlands. That is real. And do not speak to me of isekai. I will not hear from truck victims who wake up with cheat skills. I want men who suffer in dorm rooms, not kingdoms. I want 12 girls. I want one bathroom. I want the festival arc. No. I need it.
I didn't know you felt so strongly, Dagoth. You sound as if you have a longing unfulfilled.
Indeed I do, and after I have struck down the tribunal and casted the filth of the Empire from Morrowind, I will have my harem. I and 12 of the finest Dunmer in all the land will share one bathroom under Red Mountain. We will cook. We will build a Kulakan. And we will love.
You speak of love, Dagoth, but what you crave is attention wrapped in fan service. Harem anime is not a test. It is a symptom of arrested desire, of fantasy dressed as consequence. One man, many women, all drawn to his indecision like self-inserted moths to a self-inserted flame, and yet nothing changes, nothing breaks, nothing grows. You call it prophecy, I call it static. There is no meaning in competition without choice. There is no depth in affection without absence. I do not need 12 archetypes orbiting a blank slate. I need one old man, a cup of tea, and silence between breaths. That is power. Slice of life does not scream. It does not explode. It breathes, it listens, it mourns what never was, quietly, like memory. So you may keep your harems, keep your beach episodes, keep your echoing narration of, "I didn't ask for this." I will be at the bakery, watching two strangers exchange bread and meaning.
Bread? You speak to me of bread as if carbohydrates were salvation? No, I have seen what your bakery offers. Quiet shame dressed as subtlety. A girl drops a bun, a boy picks it up, they blush. And for 5 episodes, they circle like Kaguti in heat, saying nothing, doing less.
It is restraint.
It is cowardice. The harem does not wait. The harem acts. The tsundere strikes. The childhood friend confesses too late. The swimsuit arrives with timing, not subtlety, you fool. You think stillness is sacred. I say it is stagnation. Give me chaos. Give me misunderstandings. Give me 3 women fighting over who gets the last rice ball. And one of them has cat ears. That is life. That is war. You sit in cafes watching hands brush across ceramic mugs. I sit in dorm rooms on the verge of emotional collapse while 12 gods argue over laundry. And I weep. Not because it is beautiful, but because it is true.
I wouldn't expect anything more from the false dreamer, the shamat, to seek divinity in such drivel. The heart's corruption clings to you more tightly than I feared.
And soon I will use the heart to awaken Akulakan and strike you and the rest of the tribunal down. When next we meet, it will not be an exchange of words, but one of blows. Even now the Nerevarine walks toward me bearing Wraithguard, Keening, and Sunder. Let them come. Let you come. I remain eternal. Thanks for coming on. It was great having you. I couldn't have asked for a more engaging first guest.
Well, thank you for inviting me on. It was enlightening and enjoyable.
And thank you, Outlanders, for joining us here at the 6th Housecast. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more content like this from the Tribe Unmourned. Like the video and leave a comment and let me know if you too believe harem anime to be grand and intoxicating. We'll see you in the next one. Dream well.